Okay, so previously I showed you how in Daniel chapter 2, the prophecy that Daniel receives is depicting the timeline of mankind. So let's review. And now, since we understand that the timeline of mankind is depicted in the statue dating from the Babylonian Empire all the way to the last kingdoms on earth is where Jesus will return. So let's see if we can see some commonalities in this so you can see what the pattern God is showing us. Well, the gold is depicting as the Babylonian kingdom represented by King Alexander the Great, which is in the Middle East. The Persians, which conquered the Babylonians, is also in the Middle East, present day Iran. Then the Persians, or aka Iran, was conquered by the Greeks, led by Alexander the Great. And that's also in Europe. So far we see that we have a depiction of this in Middle East, depiction of the silver in the Middle East, depiction of the bronze in Europe. And then we see that the European or the Greeks later became the Romans, and the Romans ruled the most of the world. And the Romans is also in Europe. But then the Roman Empire split between and turned into the East-West Roman Empire. And we see that's also in Europe and the Middle East. And now we see where the era of the feet mixed with iron and clay, which is the era of time where Jesus returns, which is what we call today Europe and the Middle East. So we see that all this is depicting Europe, Middle East, Europe, Middle East, Europe, Middle East. So this is the pattern and the place that God wants us to hyper focus on.